Bombers are red hot. How's Bomber Nation feeling? Welcome inside GameDay Winnipeg. It's game day. Bombers, Ticats goes down live tonight. We got post-game coverage here on Bonfire Sports. That is for sure. Just as sure as you will see this man you all came to see, Chris Walby. Look at that hat. You look good.
Well, I had to wear it. You wanted me to wear it. I had it in the truck. I put it in the truck so my kids don't steal it. They took the other one. But this is very nice. I really do like it. A nice fitting hat. And I know there's a lot of people. I see people, there's somebody in a combine in Saskatchewan, I believe, or maybe in rural Manitoba, wearing your Bonfire Hat. I thought it was really cool. Yeah. So, this is, you know what? It's not bad doing it on game day either. Speaking of the game.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like we finish the show. You know, I go get some supplies. And we sit around the tube and watch, which should be a great game. I mean, remember we blew up the Edmonton Elks?
Yeah.
And it was all right. It was all right. And then they got just dominated by the Bombers last week. I mean, I've never seen a better performance. Zach Collaros, oh my God, 6 touchdowns.
He was awesome.
Brady runs the ball. They just they had, that's a game you want to save for the Grey Cup. That is one of those games that's magical where everything goes your way. They just do great things. But now you got a team against Ticats where I didn't even know this when I looked it up. They haven't won in Hamilton since 2017. Isn't that wild?
That is pretty wild.
That's crazy, man. I've always been a big fan of Bo Levi.
Yeah.
Think about all the garbage this poor quarterback has gone through. We got benched for Tim Powell. He said he's not going to be the guy anymore. And he comes back and he's on fire. Leads the league in yards, touchdowns. And he's in the hunt for M.O.P. I don't care what anybody says. I think he's a guy that scares the hell out of you. He played the Bombers. I believe it was his first game against the Bombers way back when he was Calgary Stampeder. And he came into that game as a relatively unknown quarterback and threw for 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
He's just good. And I love this matchup. I love the matchup because I like Bo Levi. But they are missing a couple guys. I'm sure we're going to get into it today on the show. But the Bombers locked and ready to go. Locked and loaded, if you would. No changes. It's crazy. B.A. Booger, my tail is wagging. It's nice to do this show live now because, you get to see all the comments. And a lot of times I don't get to see them anymore. So it's kind of nice. And I'm glad that you got your computer issues fixed. If everybody wants to know, there was Board DB has been banging his head against the wall trying to get this thing going all night and all day yesterday. So we apologize to everybody on that. But we're here. We're live. We're better. We're good.
Yeah. Zach Collaros was vintage last week as the Bombers, putting up a 50-burger, 55 points, winning 55-27. Chris, how often do you see a quarterback throw for 400-plus yards? He threw for 432. Go 81%, and then to cap it off, no picks, but 6 touchdowns. I hate to say I told you so, but I knew if you gave this Blue Bombers offense time to gel with all of the changes, the receivers, the O-line, the whole kind of look and feel of things, okay?
Yeah.
Give them time, and what happens? I'm sure playing the same team 2 weeks in a row helps the game planning and all that sort of thing. But this Blue Bombers offense exploded for well over 500 yards of net offense. They didn't need Brady Oliveira. Brady still had 86 yards rushing, had an amazing touchdown. For me, the play of the game, that 33-yard touchdown catch and run. But Collaros was just finding Lawler and Wilson and Wheatfall and Dembski and Kevin's Clercius when he needed to. It was incredible watching Zach Collaros because it looked like Zach Collaros of 2021 and 2022.
Yeah, he distributed the ball, as you mentioned, to all those receivers. And he got we talk about Ontario Wilson, who's probably going to be the rookie of the, he'll be the rookie. He's probably in the front run to be rookie of the year, but he'll be definitely a nominee from the Bombers. But then they get this other kid, Eric Wheatfall, who had a great opening game, then got hurt, now back, another big target, and another guy that's making plays for the Bombers. And when you get guys like that are weapons, you think about Dalton Schoen's not in there anymore. I mean, they just got guys playing well. I thought you got to give credit where credit is due, and I think you have to give the O-line credit. They gave him so much time. And if you let Zach just sit back there and pick out, and he rolls out, he looked like vintage, like you said, rolling out, throwing the ball on a dime, picking apart that zone coverage. I thought Edmonton might have played a little bit more man-to-man, but look at this throw, wide open, breaks open,
this
Dembski.
one to Wheatfall.
That was a beautiful.
61 yards to the house.
Yeah, just a streak. It's still a streak pattern, straight down the field. This was unbelievable. The balance, and that's vintage. See, that's vintage Zach right there. Rolls to the right, and he hits him right on. Dembski, who had another monster game, was supposed to be a game time decision, but that was they're just jerking the fans around because he's in the lineup. I was watching O'Shea this morning on his interview yesterday. Yeah, and he was talking about it. He goes, "How's he doing? He'll be definitely in." Come on, we know that. They have so many weapons, though, even if they sat him. And we should also talk about the fact that you look at their roster. As good as it gets.
Yeah.
They have just stacked. They're stacked, man. And the guys that are really
Nichols, Holm, and Ford have been outstanding on the back end.
Yeah.
Cramdy and Chris. Yeah, this young man right here, Michael Griffin. Okay, rookie. Mm-hmm. He is lined up at corner, at halfback, at the dime, the strong side linebacker spot where he backs up Cramdy. He has been everywhere. And I was talking I was talking just like away from the facility, talking to a Bombers player on the offense, and they were raving. Like I mentioned to them, I'm like, the defense, I'm like, hey, obviously I'm talking to them about Collaros' big game, everybody in the offense, this individual. I'll just keep them nameless because it was away from the facility, right? But they had a touchdown, raving about the offense and the 55 points. But then I said to them, I'm like, but your defense has been levying the ship. It's really a big reason why you've won 7 straight games. And they're like, those guys are dogs. Those guys are balling. And I said, Cramdy. And they stopped me in my tracks and they go, that dude is playing out of his mind. Cramdy, Griffin, Ford and Holm and Dietrich Nickel, like the back end of that defense has been so dang good. That's why Winnipeg is only rushing 3-4 guys and still getting pressure because it's like coverage sacks, right?
Well, it's interesting you say that too, because watching Scott Milanovich, the head coach of the Ticats, talk, he waxed poetic about, of course, we all know number 5, and he talked about Willie. He said, Willie's just a freak. Willie sees it. He can't get up there. He puts his hands up. He's 6'7". He's just got the big, the arms. He gets swat as well. He's got 9 pass knockdowns. The only lineman in there amongst all the DBs in the league. But the guy that he really raved about too, which was, I think he needs it, was Jake Thomas. He said Jake Thomas is just all over the field. There he is making a play right now. He just stuffs that run. This is a guy that has to sacrifice his body to allow the linebackers to make plays. And there's Reddy Cramdy right there. I think these guys are playing as good as football as you can play. Jordan Younger has got these guys just playing superb. They know what they're doing. They mix up their coverages. They confuse the defense. Here's the 3-man rush. Then they bring another guy late. Good coverage. Look at there's Reddy in the coverage right there. Look at Jake. Jake's 12 years in the league, I think, with this Bombers. He's the longest Bomber. And he's downfield still running. I love the mentality of run to the football. Run to the football. Look at him push this guy straight back. McLeod hasn't got no chance. The quarterback has got a guy right in his face all the time. I just think this defense is lights out, the best defense in the league. I think that it's going to be a good battle, but I still got that little knock. There's a one little asterisk, right? Having a one in Ticat Town in 4 years, which is blowing me away.
Do you actually put weight in that though? We know Mike O'Shea never will because it's one game at a time and go 1-0 every week. But as a player that played 16 years in the league, Chris, and obviously you called 10 Grey Cups on CBC, 10 years in radio and YouTube broadcasting with me and our time at 1290. But
Yeah.
do you actually put weight into that, or is that just kind of a game note? Like, oh, the Bombers haven't won there in 4 years.
I think it just adds a little bit of a, an excitement thing. A little bit. It's a tidbit of information that makes people think, because I was at a friend's place yesterday. We're having a couple Coleys, and due to your cancellation, so I had time to get out and have a couple Coleys.
Yes, sir.
And this guy, and I didn't even realize it. And he's talking. These guys are Bomber bananas where I am, and they're going, they haven't won in that Tycatville since 2017. I go, where do you get that? And then I come home and look it up. Sure as hell. Well, that is just an interesting tidbit of information. It's what do you say when you're in the can and the John, and you're just, it's just fodder. It's just fodder. But I do like it. I do like the way the Ticats are playing 4 in a row. They've won the last 2 games in Hamilton. They're playing good football right now. I mean, Milanovich has these guys going. And like I said earlier, I don't want to repeat myself, but I'm good. This is Bo Levi, who was benched earlier in the year for Taylor Powell, has a resurgence. And Milanovich said the reason he's playing so well now is he's healthy. He's finally 100% healthy, and he's throwing the ball with such accuracy. I mean, they came back in that last game, that little trick play with Tim White, throwing it back to him for a touchdown. I love the offensive game plan. It makes me excited. It's not a game where I'm watching, there's no excitement. I'm flipping channels, coming back to the Bombers, watching them. I mean, last week, I turned the game off for a while because it was 34-3 at halftime. And I just said, it's a steamroller. Well, you were at the game, weren't you? I'm sure you were at the game.
Yeah.
Well,
amazing atmosphere at the orange shirt. By the way, Chris.
Oh, that's right. Reconciliation. That was perfect.
You're wearing your orange a week late.
No, this is red. I think your camera. This is red.
Your camera.
Mine, you can probably tell. Same as color as my face, red. Yeah.
For red Cramdy.
Red Cramdy, baby. No, I just think it's going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to it, and I like the fact I don't have to wait until tomorrow to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it tonight, and it's going to be a great game. I think I got a couple of fellows coming over, Stan Mikolas, and some other guys will come and watch the game here and see what's going on.
So, James Butler in at tailback as Greg Bell, their bell cow tailback, out this week.
Yeah.
Shamar Bridges out, their big-bodied, incredibly athletic, dangerous receiver. Nick Usher out as well. I know you're a fan of Kendricks and what he's been able to do on that D-line. Some changes for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, but Winnipeg, as you mentioned earlier, Chris, no changes, which is a good thing.
Yeah, continuity and chemistry. They're getting together. I thought the O-line had the best game of the season last week. I don't believe that Zach even had I don't know if he even got touched, to be honest with you. And, they played so well. There's no holding. Somebody made a comment. There was no holding calls. There was nothing. You're right. It was just a great dominant performance by the O-line, a mixture of run with Oliveira and a mixture of pass. And it just, when everything's clicking like that, it's very hard for this team to be beat. It's going to be up to me, it's all going to come down to this. It really going to come down to me is a Ticat defense. Can they stop this offense? Mm-hmm. If you look at the last time they played, I believe Brady ran for over 100 yards again. I think, 18 for 120. The quarterbacks both stunk, though. Bo Levi was 50%. Zach threw 3 interceptions. So, I mean, that was a different time. But now you're having 2, and they're both playing extremely well. Well, I look at Bo Levi right now, number 1 in yards, number 1 in touchdowns, number 1 in attempts. In the red zone, he's 13 touchdowns, only 1 interception. So it's crazy, man. Oh, is that the cause of the Diddy thing?
Yeah, different Usher.
That's good, though. That's pretty good, though. That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
And I do believe Waiters is right. Bridges is the one. I mean, that guy is he's got 83 catches, 4 touchdowns. He's a big play guy. But, they're saving him. They put in Desmond Patman. He's 6'4", big, tall, lanky. Stalk of corn out of Washington State. They like him. So they like him. Big, tall receivers. But they got some good guys still. Stephen Dunbar. Brandon O'Leary Orange is playing really good. You used to like him when he was with the Bombers.
Yeah.
And he's playing really well. He's really coming to his own. Yeah. Talented so, I mean, He's found a home in Hamilton. He's doing good things, man. And you got Keandre Smith. They got a guy that I think is Tim White, who's just a freak. They always have him as a designated guy there, number 12. He's in the line. He'll be in the game a bunch of times. And then they got a guy that's a slot back in, Lawrence Woods III, not only as a speed guy, but returning. He's already got a touchdown on a punt return. So a very dangerous special teamer. So, yeah, they got weapons. But can their defense hold our offense, and can our defense, which I think has been playing lights out. Let me just go there again. I don't know, man. I think that they're getting such good pressure from Jefferson. And it was interesting to listen to the head coach of Ticats talk about Willie. And they say, the fact that Willie has got free reign. He can line up wherever he wants.
Yep.
He goes in the middle. He can go to the outside. But he said the biggest thing about him is he's so smart. He's so lanky that if he can't get to the quarterback, he instinctively gets in your vision. And that's why he's got 9 pass knockdowns. I mean, he's playing good, man. So I don't know. But I like Bo. I'm a Bo fan too. So, I mean, this is 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I love the fact that, the Zach first, he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Again, and Bo Levi, first ballot.
Yeah.
And he's on
M.O.Ps for those guys, right?
Well, and they're we talk about this all the time. The straw that stirs the drink is a quarterback. It's either the quarterback on offense, which is your quarterback, or the quarterback on defense, which is your middle linebacker. And speaking of the segue, Tony Jones. Really playing well in place of freaking Adam Big Hill. I hate to say it. He's doing a good job. I didn't know if, anybody could fill Biggie's shoes, but he's doing a pretty good job of impersonating number 4.
Chris, I'm going to one-up your segue with another.
What?
Yes. Oh, yes.
A lot of segues.
Speaking of MOPs and the quarterback being the straw that stirs the drink, in a year like 2024, where there isn't a real runaway quarterback. Yes, Bo is in the conversation. The way Zach Collaros' year has gone, I mean, you could probably say, I don't know. I think he should maybe be part of that conversation. I'm sure Bombers fans would agree with me. But he would have to obviously have more of these huge games. This was a real coming out party.
Interesting the way you say that, because it just hits me on one word.
But
Consistency.
And when it comes to consistent, I'm glad you said that. When it comes to consistency, is Brady Oliveira the lead candidate in the entire CFL for M.O.P this year, or do you look to the defensive side of the ball?
That's an interesting point. But, I mean, I know that in Saskatchewan, they're really pushing Milligan. I think his name is Roland Milligan. Yeah.
But if you're going to push Roland Milligan, I think you should push Dietrich Nichols in Winnipeg. I understand Milligan does.
We had this conversation before, DB. It's so stupid because if you don't have the stats, they don't look at you. And I agree with that. Yep. Now, Roland Milligan's leading the league in interceptions. He's got special teams. He's all over tackles. I mean, he's outstanding. He's going to have an outstanding year. Consistency, same thing for him. He's in, day out, but he's missed a couple games. Brady, in every game. Brady, big factor. If he's not running the ball, he's catching the ball. He's got 43 passes, which is now a new career high for him. He was 34 was his last career. He's got 43 right now. And if you saw that catch and play last week, look at this guy. Refuses to go down. That's the thing. And he doesn't turn the ball over. I don't want to jinx him, but he doesn't turn the ball over. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is that play last week when he caught that ball for 33 yards and a touchdown, a thing of beauty. That's a Hall of Fame shot. I mean, it's just amazing. Let's look at Brady again here. I mean, look at that hole. Look at the hole. My God. Good pancake by number 67. Does a great job there. Chris Kolonkowski. Yeah, it's as an old lineman, it's fun to block for guys like that. It really is, because when they get up and start smacking their head and their helmets and then coming up and smacking you just get jacked up, man. You just want to go.
Yeah.
And I love to run the football. I've always said that. Tommy Clements used to tell me to shut the F up all the time because I'd be calling the run plays in the huddle all the time. Cal Murphy and I would get in arguments on the sideline because I'd say, run the effing ball, Cal. Cal would go, just do your effing job, So, we had I would get into it with everybody. I remember I was a dickhead too, because I remember Leon Haciano. I loved him. And we're in the middle of a game, and he's looking in the stands. He's waving to his girlfriend, whoever. Got a bunch of them up there. He's Greek. He's got a lot of chicks. And he's up there, and I turn to him and I go, "Otzi, what are you doing?" I said, "Get your effing head in the game, brother." And I was yelling at him, and and then I think back to myself, I remember he can't be doing that. But I was just that intense at a game. But going back to running the football, I loved it. And I love the way these guys are running football. It's great to have Stanley back. Having Patty Newfield back. I think the guy that's really played well, though, is two guys. Don't get a lot of credit. Liam Dobson and Eric Lofton. They're playing really good.
Here's that highlight of Brady.
Oh, look at the spin, balance.
Play of the game.
And then of course the chicken dance. I got to tell you what, the old lineman can't do the chicken dance. We just, we're just flopping around now. Fucking all our stomachs flopping all over the place. Oh, I love that, man. Fat guys champion. We do the rooster dance.
There they are. Great opportunity.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Great
He's
opportunity.
With Popeyes. Did you see him?
Yes. Well, I was going to say great opportunity to market the chicken dance. But what I've been told is that's it. It's over. And even though the player, I don't know if they're going to be doing the chicken box or the chicken dance anymore. This is what we've kind of been going for here on Bonfire Sports. Brady Oliveira, we all know he is the dog whisperer, rescuing dogs, his tattoos, he's got the paws on his neck. He's got his dogs all down his arm. All of his, he's a dog lover. When Brady has a big run or scores a touchdown, they started doing it in the fourth quarter of the last game. They played Who Let the Dogs Out, and the crowd barking and kind of giving that Arsenio Hall.
Who let the dogs out? Who. Yeah, I remember that, man. That was a great song. I used to sing it, yell in the car.
Yeah.
I pulled up beside a guy and I was doing that, and the guy said, "Hey, stop with the road rage." He thought I was yelling at him. I was just singing this song. I got a million stories, man.
I think it's something that is going to catch on as having the dogs come out.
That. I didn't know that the Popeyes thing is done. It was just a one and done?
Yeah.
Really, eh?
Yep.
So even if he does a chicken dance, they're not going to give him any more chicken?
I don't think they're going to do the chicken dance anymore. That's all I'm saying. I could be wrong.
Oh, you say,
I don't believe so. I don't believe. I think
you know what? I like that. I like the Who Let the Dogs Out. That's really good.
Yeah, it's better than the chicken dance. Like, give me a break. Can you imagine like a year of the chicken dance? It'd be ridiculous. The dogs, though.
I know, that's a good one. Well, remember the Cleveland Browns in the NFL had the dog pound.
Yes.
And they would just start barking. I loved it. That's fan base. Well, we got a fan. You saw the fans. You showed a picture of the fans right there. They're all doing a chicken dance. They're having a great time. That's what you want. You want an atmosphere where your fans are having fun. And it's always better when you're winning.
100%.
But to go back to your point, Brady is being consistent from day one, running the football and catching the football. And as you say, in a year where I don't know if anybody's really taken the bull by the horns as far as outstanding, I got to give my nod to Brady. I mean, Canadian and maybe M.O.P. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's coffee. Coffee in the morning, brother.
Can't beat it.
I'm not used to that, but it's good. But I love the guy. Guys, and you mentioned what he does off field, which I really am proud of. I mean, I did a thing with him. Like I said, he was just drafted from UND, and I was doing a thing at McDonald's, and we're doing a charity event. And that's the first time I met Brady. He was a young, shy, really happy to, he's behind Andrew Harris, just a nice kid. And to see him blossom into this outstanding football player, outstanding. And what he does outside the football field too is also outstanding. Mm-hmm. I mean, he just, to me, I'd give him a vote just because I think he's that guy, man. He just does it. But look at Zach. Look, he's 32. He's almost going to pass some guys pretty soon. Trevor Harris, Darian Durant, Mike Riley. That's a list of really good quarterbacks.
He's right there too. Like this was in the
I cannot believe
the fourth quarter. So he finished with more than this. So he's he's obviously got a ways to go to Henry Burris, but I'm not going to be surprised if he moves into number 15.
Yeah, 30,000 more. I don't know about that. I mean, you have to play about 4 more years.
Yeah.
Anthony Fields got the most yards in professional football, NFL, CFL, anything. $79,000. I mean, he's just a freak. And another really, really nice guy. If you ever get a chance to talk to Anthony, I remember we played him the first time we ever played him. He was with Las Vegas Posse. And the only people in there were the Coyotes. It was so empty, but you could hear, "Ow!" See, that's another thing. You put that in there too, right?
Yeah.
Every time Lawler catches a ball, "Ow!"
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, Lawler. There's a segue. And I know some people are talking about, my God, Kenny Lawler. Whew.
This catch was
Yeah,
insane.
yeah. One-hander. Yeah. He's a stud. I mean, look at the catch. That's crazy. I mean, the weapons they have. I mean, it's just, you got to be impressed. I mean, they can go anywhere. I like Eric Wheatfall. I didn't know if I was going to blow him. You know, he's going to blow me that much.
I will correct you because it's twice only because it's twice today. Keurig Wheatfall. He's got a K at the beginning of the name.
Oh, see what happens when you cancel the show the day before?
I know. I throw you off.
I wrote down Eric. I actually wrote down, and I'm going to put character. I'm going to change it right now.
You said it twice, and I'm like, okay, now I know it wasn't just a Walbyism.
No, it's just my trying to put these charts together like I do every week. My fault. I apologize to Carrick. Oh, look at the hand. That's something special right there. I mean, those gloves. I don't know if you ever had the gloves on, DB.
Oh yeah,
they're sticky as it is.
I got a bag of those gloves kicking around.
Well, I use them for golf just to hold on to the clubs, but they do stick. You can really grab something. I mean, but you still have to have the athletic ability. Look at them go down and hold that ball. I thought the one too. Oh yeah, coming back to the ball, throw a fade route so he comes back. Yeah, he's talented, man. And I saw him today, or we talked in his interview. And there's of course Coach O'Shea, who's, I guess they're going to put another statue up. I guess, him and Cal side by side.
Well, I think they'll give him. They'll probably put O'Shea at the what would be southeast corner. They have Bud Grant at the southwest corner. They have Cal at the northeast corner. I think they'll put Mike. And I mean, Chris, this is going to be 20 years from now, right? 20 years from now, they'll worry about that statue. They ain't going to do it while Mike O'Shea is still kicking around Peg City.
Oh, I know. And I won't be here in 20 years anyway. I'll be rolling around.
Yes, you will.
I think 20 years
I'll wheel you out in the chair. No problem. We'll be there together, brother.
Yeah. Well, I'm 320 pounds right now. Still, looking good.
Yeah, but you're lean and mean.
I'm not lean and mean, but I'll tell you what.
BS. I want everyone to know, okay, Chris? Woo! I see you in person often. You are in incredibly good shape for the wear and tear your body has taken through an incredibly long career. You may not be the same height you were when you played. I understand everything kind of compresses down, but you're in incredibly good shape, my friend. All right. I just want people to know that. It's important.
Well, no, I don't. I'm okay. Listen, I don't know. Never mind. I don't like that. It's funny. I was just talking about my buddy, Miles Gorell. Somebody, because there's a big thing in Hamilton right now. They inducted Mike Walker and another guy, quarterback, and into their Wall of Fame. And Mike Walker was a freak. He was tough to play. Look at this, though. You know what? Even that throw, and look at the pressure. Zach just sits back here. I mean, yeah, he's good. I mean, I'm blown away by him and Kenny Baller. Yeah,
Kenny Baller. I like that.
Yeah.
You were saying though?
Well, there's a Ludicrous Fox. Great comment. Prukop, who used to be with the Bombers, was clapping after that catch. I thought that was pretty cool. The guy's on the sideline, backup quarterback, and
is that right?
Look at the effort. Look at the effort.
Yeah, that's Ontario Wilson right there.
He's a stud too. I'm looking at him as a rookie. I mean, I was looking at the list of rookies today. Man, he's what, 100 and something away from 115 to 1,000-yard receiver, and the last guy to do it was Dalton Schoen, and he won Rookie of the Year.
He's stayed healthy. He has been consistent. He's been very, very good. These were back-to-back plays, by the way. Lawler.
Yeah.
And then Ontario Wilson on the next play.
Yeah.
And then I want to pull this one up. This was soon after.
Yeah, look at him. Roll right, throws a dart.
It's not just the amazing hands for Kenny Lawler. Chris, the dude gets open. That's a different skill all in itself.
Yeah, he knows how to read a defense and find the holes in the coverage. That's pretty hard to defend right there. I mean, Zach just rolls, look at fake, little play action, bam, wide open. And that, like you say, you put it anywhere within his arm reach, he's going to come down with that ball. They talk about guys climbing the ladder to catch it, but they've got, I think, with Carrick, Wheatfall, Ontario, and even Kevin Clercius. I mean, they've got some receivers, man. They're all taking places. But I don't know. I'm just jacked. And I'm not used to drinking coffee in the morning. So
I think a morning being jacked up, a morning jack up, if you will,
hey, I don't like that. I don't like how that came out.
What are you talking about? I think it's absolutely warranted right now because this Bombers team has won 7 straight games. We've said it for weeks now. 0-4 and 2-6 and basement of the standings and thinking the season was lost just a month in to where they are right now. The short week going and beating BC 25-0 and that being the beginning of this 7-game winning streak. Winnipeg is, well, Chris, I know you'll share this because you've been telling me already, prior to the show. The Blue Bombers are 1 win away from hosting a home playoff game. That means they'll at least finish second. So they'll host the West semifinal. If they can get some help or they just continue to win, their magic number is essentially 2. They will host the West final.
If Saskatchewan loses to BC, they clinch. They clinch the West final and they'll have the final here again. For what, 5th year in a row? It'll be the 5th year, I think. They're just playing.
To host a game, yes.
Well, think about this. They've won, the series with Saskatchewan. They won the series with BC. They won the series with Edmonton. They won the series with Calgary. You're basically sitting pretty. I mean, they look at that 377 points. They're
back in the conversation with everyone else. Remember when he was trailing everybody by so much? Throw up some 50 burgers.
Yeah, they played strong. I mean, we waxing poetic about them because you have to. From you said exactly from 2-6 to where they are today, 7 in a row, very likely 8 in a row. But I think it'll be a tough game. I don't know why. And somebody had a good question there, and I did. What's the weather like in Hamilton? I don't know. I didn't even look that up.
Monica with a great point. Thanks for joining the live chat, Monica. Not everyone doubted them. It was always hard work. That's right. Very true.
Right on. You're right. Yep. Yeah, and staying true to their form. They keep getting better, but that's much like Hamilton as well. When that team looked terrible, and all of a sudden they put 4 in a row together for them now. So they're finding their mojo, which makes this a very interesting contest.
Is it? Okay, so I don't know if you read the piece that Schnitzer wrote on BonfireSports.ca this week. I
did.
Zach Schnitzer, of course, my co-host on Game Day After Dark, live immediately after every game with highlights. We go live right here on Bonfire. Schnitzer wrote a piece about the M.O. of Mike O'Shea, the modus operandi. What is that? It's Latin. It just essentially means the habits that you have, the what you're trying to accomplish. And Mike O'Shea's M.O., he broke it down into 4 pillars, right? And off the top of my head, if I can remember them, Schnitzer theorized what those 4 pillars would be. And it would be pay attention to the details, love football, play for your teammates. And now I'm forgetting the 4th one. If you read it, jump into the live chat. Let us know what that 4th pillar is.
Short, 20
is it Mike O'Shea's pillars, Mike O'Shea's MO that is the reason Winnipeg can start 0-4 and 2-6 and just blunder games away? That last loss was that overtime loss where they just continued to trip over their own feet in Toronto. To doing what they're doing now, and everybody's saying, and rightfully so, Winnipeg is the team to beat in the CFL right now.
I believe that. I think Montreal's a close second. BC. I don't know what's going on in BC. I mean, they're staying with Nathan Rourke, but you got to remember Vernon Adams Jr. was the early M.O.P. candidate. He was playing so well, and then he got hurt. Are they going to stay with Nathan? I don't know, but I just think that when you're looking at this, man, it's pretty tough to beat this team. I mean, obviously, winning first place, wrapping it up again with 3, and they got a bye yet still.
Yeah.
So they're going to another couple weeks off. There's no doubt they're going to. To me, I just don't see the probability of them not wrapping up first place, whether it be this game or the next game. They own the season series against everybody else in the West, so I just can't see them not wrapping up first place. But you know what? I mean, we're trying to build this game up. I'm trying to build this game up too. And I think that if Hamilton was, 3-6 or 3-10, I'd have to, I just don't think I'd get that jacked about this game. But the fact that they're playing well right now at the right time, that, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. You always hear that, It's not a race, it's a marathon. So let's see what happens tonight. I mean, that's great. Tonight, that's what we're talking about, baby. Honor your teammates. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Honor your teammates.
I like that.
Do the little things right. Pay attention to the details. Everyone is a starter. No Big Hill, no Schoen, no, changes on the D line, no Kyrie Wilson. It went on and on and on. Even no Stanley Bryant. They found a way to win those games. Those pillars, Michael, and Schnitzer talks about it here. It was Jason Hogan, the Blue Bombers running backs coach, in a conversation with Jeff Hamilton of the Winnipeg Free Press, talked about the 4 pillars Mike O'Shea just scribbled on a whiteboard. And that's the 4 pillars of his coaching mentality and the team mentality. Schnitzer did a great job writing this story. I really encourage you to read it. You can find it on our Twitter and just at BonfireSports.ca in the news section.
I will do that too as well. And I apologize to Schnitzer because I should read that. I read in the comments, and whoever read it, all the people that viewed it said it was just an outstanding article. So I will get on there and pull it up and look at it. But I want to give credit to something too. I mean, O'Shea does one thing really well, and he created a culture. And, it's that F.I.F.O, right? Fit in or F off, right? I love that. That's another one of his pillars, even though he can't put that down. The other thing is, I think you got to give credit to the scouting department. The Bombers keep finding these gems. I mean, they're bringing in Carrick. They're bringing in, you talk about Michael Griffin. You talk about Mike Ayers. Tony Jones gets cut from Edmonton, comes here as a starter right now.
That's your pro scouting. Yes.
We just find great players. And I think the scouting, Danny McManus, who's the assistant general manager, and I think he's still in the scouting too down south, does a great job. They bring people in.
Found this
but
guy.
Again,
it's
a culture.
This guy.
Yeah.
This guy. Yeah. Drafted this guy. Drafted this guy. Found this guy. Pro scouting found this guy. Drafted this guy. Found this guy. Found this guy. Well, actually, pro scouting from Edmonton, similar to Tony Jones, Brian Cole a couple years ago. Drafted this guy. Found these guys. Drafted this guy. That was a long time. Well, you know what? They didn't actually. Jake Thomas was from the previous regime. Devin Adams, another one that they found. Drafted these 2 guys. I mean, there's Kyle Walters doing his work with Willie J. But
you just hit a guy. Remember this? That's an interesting point you make up. And I know we're digressing from a game, but it's good to talk about the backbones of the team. And I really do believe Kyle Walters. It's hard to believe that there was talk that Kyle was not going to be back. Remember that he had not signed a contract. They signed an extension to Mike O'Shea. They had not signed a contract extension with Kyle Walters. Yeah. And yet he does such a great job of being able to manage a very good team 4 times in a Grey Cup already. Yeah. And be able to split that pie, that money, the cap money, and allow, because, I mean, it's tough. When you got great teams, people all want to be paid. They all deserve the top dollar, and that's tough. And great comment there. Hard work, success is, right? I mean,
well, and Scott Roger, his son, Jake, has been an example of this, working his way from high school ball in Winnipeg to the Winnipeg Rifles, now to the Manitoba Bisons. He's part of an undefeated team, catching balls from Tuchinski, who's like the number 1 quarterback in U Sports right now. Bisons are rolling. And, Jake Roger, Scott's son, perfect example of that.
Yeah. Well, and you got to love that. But I think you just got to give credit to, because it all starts from the roots, right? It's your roots. You can't just come and throw a guy in there if they got, if your tree's not planted solid. If you got no roots in there, and they got to have roots, and I think you got to have good people on work your way up. And, I remember one coach said to me, I don't remember if it was Wally Buono or was somebody on another team said, you want to hire coaches that are better than you. You cannot be the cog. You can't think it's about you. You want to hire guys that are better than you. And I was listening even for Scott Milanovich, because there's a difference. We didn't even talk about this yet. Chris Jones came over to Hamilton, and it's funny how they started the resurgence when Chris Jones came back. Mm-hmm. He is now not the GM, not the head coach in the Elks. He's just defensive assistant, but he's running the show. Yeah. Smart. He's always been a defensive guru. And if you listen to the head coach of the Ticats, Milanovich, talk about, he's talking about it. He says, no, I don't even worry about Chris Jones. Chris Jones has the ability to make a change right away. He puts a defense in. If it doesn't succeed, he changes it like, bam, that's it. It's going. We're changing it. Yeah. That, I think, has been a big resurgence for this team. And he's got them. And the players are starting to believe. That's a huge thing. You have to believe that you can win. You can't go into a game and go, oh, my God, we're going to get our ass kicked. I mean, look at them. They're 55 points.
That's what was happening with Chris Jones as the head coach in Edmonton. I think he is much more suited to a coordinator role and not the leadership role like he has in Hamilton. And you mentioned changing the defense quickly if something doesn't work. No pride. Sometimes it's good to not have too much pride and move on to something that you maybe didn't think was going to be the answer, and away from the thing that you'd been working hard on all week, right? Swallow your pride and move on. If I can, Chris, you mentioned F.I.F.O, fit in or F off, right? Or forfeit opportunity is the PG way of putting it. But we're on YouTube. I won't say the F word, but I'll say most of the others. Fit in or F off. Mike O'Shea has always said that's the players. That's the players. That's their thing. While true, Andrew Harris told me just a couple months ago when we sat down over some ribs at the Silver Heights restaurant. You can find that video on our YouTube page. And I encourage you to watch it. We get into, the mental health of men and, overcoming a lot of tough things and Andrew Harris's life story. Really, really great conversation I had with him. But he told me that day that F.I.F.O is Mike O'Shea's statement. It is not Andrews. It is not Big Hills or some other player. Mike O'Shea instituted fit in or F off. He's the one that put it up on the wall. I don't know if he actually put it up on the wall, but he's the reason it's up on the wall. And Mike O'Shea will not take, he's like, that's the players. That's the players. Yes, it's for the players. It's the way the locker room is governed. But that's another Mike O'Shea influence and a reason why Winnipeg is a perennial contender and a perennial power in the CFL, because they build this culture that a Michael Griffin can come in or, a Bonds or like whoever. They come in, they fit in, and they play good football. It just clicks right away.
Yeah, they complement each other. They play multiple positions. You talked about Michael Griffin playing this part, that part. Can be a DB. You have to have that flexibility, that versatility, if you would. I think they have that. But again, I agree with you. Coach O'Shea has a culture. The players are treated so professional now. That's the biggest thing. You come in, you got a chef. You got a personal chef in there. He's cooking healthy meals for these guys. They're eating. Back in the old days, we go to practice and then we go to Pomodori's, drink some beer and eat some wings. That was our meal, right? We go there all the time. Now it's like professional chefs. What would you want? It's a wonderful thing. And I love the way, and I used to be the first guy. I was not a big supporter of this no contact crap, but now I believe in it. I believe in the fact that you keep these guys healthy. You don't beat each other up in practice. And that was Cal Murphy's. We're going to make practice so freaking hard that the game's going to be easy. That was the mentality back then.
Different time. Yeah. And it
we
worked
went
though,
hard.
right?
Every day we went hard. Every way. We had Tony Norman, who was a defensive lineman, play with us. And he came out of the game with no marks on his helmet. And Tony was an exceptional pass rusher, defensive end. He made Tony go against all the old linemen one-on-one and headbutt. So he would get his helmet to get his head used to hitting. Nobody does that crap. You know what I mean? Or Montreal making me a headbutt telephone poles. What a bunch of crap.
Different time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it worked in that time. Cal Murphy's mentality, you go hard in practice every day, and then going hard in the game will be easy. I think that's kind of, the 𝘎𝙏𝑜 mentality, right? And some of those pillars that Schnitzer laid out in his article is you fit in or you F off, you honor your teammates, you pay attention to the details, you love the game. Part of loving the game, Chris, you know this, is putting in the work. It's showing up every day. Schnitzer lays it out. Loving the game is about enjoying the process.
Yeah, I love this comment. Transcona Paulie, you're funny.
Oh, he's
same motto I have in my love life.
Love you, Paulie.
Fit it or F off. That's why I'm still single. Good one. That made me laugh, brother. I love that. That's very good. There's nothing like laughing in the morning. You got to love it, man. So that's my motto. Live, laugh, and love.
Yeah.
In whatever order you want. But look at this. Another catch. I mean, he's just all over the field. He's got so many different weapons. Just love it, man. I love watching this game. I tell people right now, it's going to be a good game. I don't think the Bombers are going to blow the Ticats out, but I wouldn't be surprised if they put up a good number of points against them. If Zach continues with his role and the play, anything, if just a smidgen of what he did last week, Ticats are going to be for a long day. They're going to have to pull the ghost of Angela Mosca out of the stands.
Oh, yeah.
Big Angie.
Hey, Chris, did you play against Angela Mosca? You're that old, aren't you?
Yeah, I played with Moses. Yeah, no, I didn't. I went to Palomino with Big Angie. And,
okay, even better.
You got to remember this guy, right? He's a professional wrestler and all this other stuff, right? Hands like two big ham hocks. Yeah. I mean, he's got big old paws, and drinking beer and having a great time, telling us stories. I was like in awe of the guy. I mean, I just watched what he did. I watched him play, and we went to a dinner in Hamilton, and he was there, and he was unfortunately not as well as he used to be, and he was in a wheelchair, but he started telling you stories, and you just were like a kid. You were just like a little kid listening, and I just have so much respect for that guy. But the Ticat Stadium, not so much. The crappiest. I think they had three toilets back then. Hopefully they renovated. And you got a team that has to go to the can all the time before the game. And there's a lineup. And when there's a lineup to go to the crapper, it's not a good thing. So,
So here's Angela Mosca on the right and Joe Cap on the left. These two guys did not like each other. But this was the famous moment in 2011.
Yeah, it's when he came.
Or sorry, in
2015. Right there.
This was in Winnipeg. Winnipeg. But
that's
that was
Joe
Cap.
Right there.
Cap was the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So Cap goes up and taunts Mosca, and they start swinging at each other.
Yeah, he cold cocked him right there. Put him right through his thing.
Cap got the better of him.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was one of the famous Kane stories. And you can see Leo. Look, Leo. That's Leo Ezrins, who's the head of CFLPA, who's you'll see him come into the picture, and he's just rubbing his head going, oh, my God, what just happened? You're going to see him pop up on the screen right now. There he is right there. And then he rubs his head and goes, oh, my God, what just happened? Look at this. Oh, geez. I got to figure out. I just loved it. And Joe Cap's crazy. Look at him. You know, how old is Joe? Joe's got to be 70-something, 80-something, too.
Well, this was 10 years ago.
But he's still tough. Look at him. Well, I don't even know if he's alive anymore. I shouldn't say that. But, yeah,
crazy
that was
moment.
one of the – yeah, it's a crazy moment. That's CFL, brother. That's CFL. Players still holding grudges after all those years.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you think of it.
Joe,
right?
he taunts him. He sticks it in his face, and then he smacks him. Joe Cap Mosca might have swung his cane, but then Cap just came in and capped him on.
Yeah, I
Crazy.
called him.
One of the wildest moments in CFL lore. And that happened in Winnipeg at the 103rd Grey Cup 2015.
Who's going to do it next year when it's in the Grey Cups in Winnipeg next year?
No, me and you?
Yeah, we're going at it, baby.
You need
I'll bring
another
up
legend.
somebody.
I don't think so. I don't think anybody's that stupid to mess with Bluto.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot.
Okay, so the Ticats have won 4 straight. The Bombers have won 7 straight. The Ticats fighting for their lives, clawing tooth and nail, if you will, if I can borrow a cat pun or whatever you want to call it.
I don't know.
They're clawing for their playoff lives. The Bombers are soaring through the standings right now. Lots on the line in this game. I want to know the legend, Chris Walby's keys to the game.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, man. Well, I tell you what, to me, it's simple. Offensively, continue to build off that great offensive game last week. I still think you need to run. They do a great job of running bully ball, and I love bully ball with Brady. But I think the biggest thing in Hamilton, since they haven't won in a while, the games they've lost there, they haven't won since 2017, they turn the ball over too many times. So they got to protect the football. That's a huge thing. Defensively, hands up. Big Willie was getting a lot of love from the Hamilton head coach. You got to keep your hands up. You got to disrupt Bo Levi, get in his vision, get in his path, because he has a tendency, and he will. If he starts throwing picks, he's going to throw a bunch of them. And on special teams, lay the wood on Lawrence Wood III, because this kid is a burner. They brought him back, and he's just stepped up again. He's got a kick return touchdown already. He's a game changer, so we got to make sure we have good coverage, which we've had. And Mike Miller, you're doing a hell of a job, buddy. The go to special teams, doing a hell of a job of coaching these guys in special teams.
Well put, Chris. Well put.
Well put, brother.
I have to correct myself. Thank you to Waiters and Karen. This happened at the 99th Grey Cup in Vancouver. That's my bad. I remember, I knew there was a Winnipeg connection. It's because Winnipeg was in that game. So that's my mistake.
Yeah, well, that's 10 demerits. I'll throw the flag on you.
You know, this is hilarious. Look at this. So I'm just, look at this. So
what?
This fight happened. There's Angela Mosca on the Dr.Phil show.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that. Grudges, gripes, and grievances.
Hilarious.
I love Dr. Phil. Nice hairline there, Dr. Phil.
Yeah. He's a real doctor, too. Not.
I know. I remember all that stuff.
Oh, man.
It was a good show, though. He had a lot of crazy people. That one girl that, I never mind. I don't want to get into his shows.
Yeah.
But anyway, he wrote a book. Oh, look at Chance going to Poly, 28-24 Ticats.
Oh, my.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Let's see what happens, and we'll have to put that in there and bring it back next week. Who do we play next week? I don't even know.
Friesen, Toronto's in town. Friesen, super chat, right. $27.99, says, someone have half a Walby burger on me. Trevor Kennard would be proud.
Wow.
Thank you,
Trevor
Friesen.
Kennard.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Always appreciate
I never had
it.
Still haven't had that Walby burger.
I can't believe you haven't had the Walby burger. What's up with that? That's bullshit.
That's okay. I don't mind. You know what's funny? I got to say this. I wonder how many guys are going to come into town. On Tuesday, we have the 1984 football, the Grey Cup champion team, being inducted into the Bomber Hall of Fame.
40 years.
Yeah. So we're going to be there. And then I guess they want us to come to the game on Friday to Toronto. But it'll be interesting because I went through the list, and there's a number of them that are not even around anymore. But I wonder who's going to come in, because we have some great guys like Johnny Huffnagel, Tommy Clements, Pat Kantner, Nick Bastaya, a lot of guys that I haven't seen in a lot of years. Oh, Bastaya had the guns. When I first came to Winnipeg, man, that guy had guns. He was just tough, and I liked Nick. It's funny to watch. We used to have pool parties here, and him and Stan got into a fight in my backyard in the same house I'm in right now. He threw
like a Mosca Cap like fight, or
no, like a wrestling fight, and then he threw Nick Bastaya in the water in a pool. No, poor Nick had to take his clothes off and sit in a towel, and we had to dry his clothes off in the dryer. No, Stanley was a horse, man. 500 bench press, Stan Mikolas. You don't see many of that like that anymore. Yeah, he's still
Chris, that hat looks so good. I want to encourage people. You go to bonfiresports.ca/hat. bonfiresports.ca/hat. It takes you to 𝘎𝙤𝙤's website. 𝘎𝙤𝙤 is a local apparel company. Incredible people, awesome clothes, like super high quality. This is the OG Bonfire Flex hat.
It fits nice, man.
Yeah, it's super comfy. You're going to love it. It says, as you know, it's got the Bonfire WPG on the side. That's a raised stitching. That's on the front. It's flex fit with a Velcro closure. bonfiresports.ca/hat. Shipping is insane these days, but 𝘎𝙤𝙤's location is close to the stadium. It's on Trottier Bay, just off of Chevrier, which is right off of Pembina on your way to the stadium, pretty much from almost every part of the city. So you can call 𝘎𝙤𝙤, you can check in there, pick up your hat, and obviously that'll be free of charge for pickup. But yeah, they're available now, and we got more apparel coming as well.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a hoodie. That's what I want, a hoodie.
Chris, no joke. I'll share this with everybody. I went to George Richards, big and tall, and I got you 2 4X t-shirts. Sorry for sharing your size, but we have been talking about your incredible body on the show today.
Same height laying down.
And I am making special shirts just for you. Silicone bonfire patches. Ooh. They're going to look great. They're going to fit great just for you, buddy. Because that's how much
far side, I'm trying buffalo size. Far side Bruce, Tukes. There's the next one too for wintertime.
Okay.
Because you're doing hockey. Once the football's over, you know, DB doesn't stop. DB goes right. He's in the Jets right now, doing all the Jets stuff right now, which seems to be taking over the radio. And it always has. You know, remember when we worked TSN? And we did TSN radio for a number of years, you, me, and Westy. And as soon as hockey season came, we were like pushed back. Remember that? If the game was on, we'd have to go into a little room and do our coverage from then a little middle of the office.
Yeah, we do it from the front desk.
Yeah, and Dembski will play. He's going to be there. Don't worry about it. He'll be on the lineup. So, but I'm looking forward to it, DB. It's a Friday. It feels like a weird day to me right now.
Yeah,
because I'm usually, I'm ready to go to the lake, but
yeah, you got some coldies in you already by this time.
Yeah, my wife's coming back today from Edmonton. She was out there to visit her family, so I have to be good. I have to go vacuum. So if you wonder what I'm doing, that's what I'll be doing. My dog is just shedding. I don't know if he's losing his winter coat or he's getting his winter coat. Hey, Luke, what do you think, buddy? He's just sitting here watching me. He's my biggest fan. Rest of us. My dog is. You know what? The only thing I don't like about my dog? Cheats at crib. He does.
Waiters has a good point. But I probably won't be able to cover both games next Friday. You and I, Chris, we're going to do a pregame show. Postgame might be the next day. Okay?
Tonight?
We'll see.
Tonight? Or
we'll
next
see.
week?
Less likely than that are bikini bottoms with Bonfire Sports on them.
Ooh. The only guy I've ever seen wear those kind of Speedos was Matt Dunnigan when he showed up to my pool party in a Speedos with hearts all over it. And all the women were going, "Oh, look at that body." And all us fat boys are wearing big baggy shorts. Oh, man. Matt Dunnigan is just a freak, man. That guy's still built like a brick shithouse. Sorry.
Don't ever apologize. Don't ever
No,
apologize.
look, had a great combo. Hat is on fire. Beautiful. I know.
Yeah. Ogo, everybody there. Awesome people at 𝘎𝙤𝙤. bonfiresports.ca/hat. And it will take you there. And check out everything else 𝘎𝙤𝙤's got. They're a beauty spot. Okay, final thoughts to you, Chris. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the game. We're going to see you next week. Bombers, Argos next week. We'll do the pregame show, hopefully on time this time, Thursday.
Yeah, and I think that, it's not your fault. And I enjoyed this. It's a nice change, DB, to have it the day of the game. Because usually I do it the day before, and then I kind of just, do my thing. And the next day I go, yeah, we got the game tonight. Now I actually got the game tonight. And, I'm going to go and I'm going to have a couple Coleys. There's no doubt about it. And I head to the lake tomorrow and hopefully get my boat out. But I heard it's supposed to rain. So, God dang, weather.
Don't forget to pick up your wife from the train station, okay?
Yeah. She's I haven't seen her for 2 weeks. So,
oh boy,
it's going to be.
Don't have too many coldies then.
No, don't worry about it, man.
You got to show her your love,
Yeah, I'll show her. Yeah, she shows me the love. She'll be coming. The first thing she'll say is, "What is with all the dirt on the floors?
What's with all the
And you
dog
haven't-
hair?
You got dog hair. And then look at that. You haven't painted yet. You said you're going to clean the windows. Oh, I haven't done a lot of shit, man, but that's okay. I'll get it done. But anyway, I digress. It's about the Bomber game, not my duties as a housekeeper, right? God
We
bless
like
you
to know
guys.
what's
God
going
bless you,
on at the
DB.
Walby
God
house.
bless the Bomber fans. And hey, go blue. It's going to be a great game. I know I'll be looking forward. And sorry that chance going to Poly. I think the Bombers are going to win. But God bless you for sticking your comments in there to Hamilton, because you never know. And you might be the guru, and I might be whatever. It doesn't matter. So with that, I'd like to say, DB, goodbye. Have a good
great
day.
one, everybody. We'll see you on the postgame.
Bye. Bye.